Hello, I am currently doing the final carb load before race day. So I'm doing a carb load for a practice run, and then the next time I carb load will be for race day. So I thought, what better time to watch some What I Eat in a Day videos and react to them. Get some inspiration, since a lot of these people seem to think carbs are the number one major food group and the only macro you need to eat to survive. So, yeah, I thought we'd react to some What I Eat in a Day. So let's get into it. Alright, here we are. Got TikTok pulled up as always. And, looks like there's some different ones. So let's just start with this one. What I Eat in a Day is a plus-size
Welcome back to What I Eat in a Day is a plus-size girly. This video is about to make so many people mad, and I'm kind of excited for it at this point. And can we talk about the...
So... there's one thing I'm not understanding here. Her hair looks like it hasn't been brushed. And I get it, some people like the messy look. My hair's a little messy, but if you're going to be making content online, at least put a little effort to make it look like that you didn't just roll out of bed. Unless you're making a long-form YouTube video and that is the point, I guess you could say. But, yeah, if you're going to make a video, try to at least show up like you care about your appearance.
The fact that I bought this pink shirt and these pink shorts separately, like months apart, and the fact that they go together so well is kind of astonishing. Anyways, I don't know why things are the way they are, but yesterday I weighed in at 359.5. But with that being said, today my period ended and I tried to eat better yesterday. Anyway, I don't know. I truly have no reasoning for it, but today I weighed in at 354.2. And I literally weighed myself 3 times this morning because I was like...
Okay, so she did lose weight. That is good. One thing that I know is if you're a woman and you're near your cycle, you shouldn't weigh yourself because you will be retaining a ton of water, so your weight will be highly inflated, and you shouldn't weigh yourself every week. Aim for every 2 weeks at the most frequent to monthly, and that's where you'll see the most difference. So this could be water weight, it could be fat. It's hard to tell, but a 5 pound, what was that, like a 5 pound loss? I don't know if she said it was a week or not, but still 5 pounds is 5 pounds. And you should always, if you are in her situation, any weight loss is good weight loss in my opinion.
How? That just doesn't make sense, but I do hear that weight fluctuates all the time, so I'm trying to keep it real with y'all. Anyways, all that to say, yesterday, if I went over a half cup of ice cream, I guess that didn't affect my weight too bad.
It's astounding that she is 70% body fat, according to this app. That, the healthy range for women, I believe, is 20 to 30%. And super athletic women can get as low as 17. So she really needs to adjust her lifestyle, and we'll see how she eats. She might be adjusting her lifestyle. We'll rate how she eats. Since she's given us these stats, we'll be a little more critical on her diet, since,
And I'm gonna be weighing myself every day, so we'll see how the weight loss progresses. I mean, it's obviously water weight and factors of life and stuff like that. I don't know how it works, y'all. Here's me weighing myself for the 3rd time in disbelief. Oh yeah, and I started tracking my calories because I really want to be under 300 pounds by the end of the year. I mean, I don't know if that's feasible or not.
So at her weight, weighing yourself every day is not the best idea because your weight fluctuates, water weight. Seriously, you want to gain 5 pounds? Eat a jar of pickles, which mind you is very low calories, and drink a bunch of water. You're gonna be heavier the next day. You shouldn't weigh yourself every day because of the fluctuations. Like, there are some days where I'm currently in a short maintenance period. After this weekend, I'm gonna start trying to lose again, lean out, I should say. My body weight's not as much of a concern. But I weigh myself every day just because I like seeing the number fluctuate and go, yeah, I did eat a lot of salt yesterday, or yeah, I did eat a lot of carbs. Because those things can cause you to retain water, and you should really only weigh yourself once every week at the most frequent. I only actually count my weight benchmark once to twice, or 2 to 4 times a month, I should say. And it does sound like she's trying to lose weight, which is fantastic. And I don't know when this was posted, but at someone her weight, you could easily lose 8 to 10 pounds a month, possibly more if you eat at her size, if you eat like 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day, you will lose pretty quickly. I don't think she's in a situation where she needs to do Dr. Now's 1,200 calorie a day diet. I would never encourage someone to do a calorie deficit more than 200 to 300 calories unless they were in a situation where they have months to live, unless they change something. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that she's not one of those, I'm fat and I'm proud and I'm gonna keep eating however I want because I'm fat. So we'll see how she does, and we'll rate how she eats and give some advice on how she can improve.
But we're gonna try. I'm so sick of just being fat. Like, I miss out on so much in life. This is like my 4th time weighing myself, so don't mind that. Oh, and apparently I recorded my outfit twice, so if you make it to the end of this video, you're the realest one, because we're just strolling along here. Anyways, I started out my morning as I always do. I had hazelnut coffee with my Chobani sweet cream creamer. I just can't do the protein in my coffee thing. I can do my protein shake and I can do my coffee, and I just can't do them together. I don't know why. For someone who is nearly 400 pounds, you wouldn't think I'd be picky, but I'm extremely picky, and I feel like that also attributes as to why I eat like a literal child, but like in 2 big portions, and then that's why I'm fat, on top of many other factors. I used an actual tablespoon to measure 4 tablespoons.
Is that, so she measured out. Now I don't know if that spoon is actually a tablespoon, because I don't know, I have an actual like measuring spoon I use for stuff, but she at least measured it out instead of just dumped it in until it's a pale tan. So that is good. You can totally use coffee creamer and sugar in your coffee. Just measure it out so you know how much you're putting in. Don't just eyeball it, because our eyes can lie to us. So that's good. I personally drink my coffee black most mornings, so I'll probably tell the story behind that later, but it's a story of laziness, honestly. But yeah, measure out what you use and all that jazz. And I saw she was heating up half a breakfast sandwich. Now, breakfast sandwiches are okay, but they generally tend to be really high in like processed fat if you do like the cheese and the eggs and the carbs from the bread. They're not the worst thing, because if you do a sausage, egg, and cheese and then maybe some veggies, that can be balanced. But you gotta be cautious as where you get it from, because like fast food breakfast sandwiches are terrible, but you can make some really nutritious, really high in protein, relatively low calorie breakfast sandwiches from home. So let's continue.
Spoons of creamer, but it wasn't enough, so I wound up adding 2 more. So at the end of this, you'll see like I put 6 tablespoons of creamer. We had to cackle, but I got out the measuring cup and I put 1 cup of grapes, pretty much. Half of my...
So measuring out your food, I probably will always measure out my food because I just like to know what I'm eating. But yeah, a cup of grapes, good. Fruit is great to measure out. I generally tend to go by weight with fruit, not cups, because like, I don't know, it just a lot of empty space. Weight feels more accurate to me for those. And it's sad that she added more creamer. That's probably, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but coffee creamer, how I see it is it adds calories, and then it's like that's just less food I can eat later. So, and I'm really particular with the cream and sugar in my coffee. Some people can't drink it without, I can. And half the breakfast sandwich, so the breakfast isn't bad. It could be better, but it's not bad. Little carb heavy though, little carb heavy.
A bagel with cream cheese and bacon. Then I got ready for work. I had 1 peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I'm sure I'll eat the other one later on. I had 1 serving of these animal crackers. I had some water, and this is the rest of my lunch from yesterday that I never ate. I had the crackers, the cheese, and the pepperoni. See, this is really good.
Okay, so one thing I've noticed is this is an extremely small amount of food volume. And if you're used to eating a small food volume, calorie-dense foods are great to meet your calorie needs for the day. But if you're trying to lose weight, and she said she's trying to lose, say, 54 pounds, and I'm seeing on here June. 6 months she wanted to lose 54 pounds. So she could easily do that at her weight. I completely believe it's possible. But eating that low of food volume is going to make you feel starving, and it's going to take so much willpower to continue. I tried doing the whole dieting and calorie counting with a similar diet to her, and that was why I weight cycled 3 times before finally losing the weight, because I was eating the same junk I was eating when I was gaining weight. I was just calorie counting it. 2 peanut butter cups is like over 150 calories. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it's like so much. It's just so calorie dense, and then you eat 2 peanut butter cups and you're like, I can't eat any other snack for the night. I'd rather sub in highly voluminous vegetables where I can just eat a bunch and feel full and satisfied. And I tend to like to volume eat. I eat a lot, so that's why I'm saying this. But if I would recommend, instead of the peanut butter sandwich, the animal crackers, the processed cheese and pepperoni, that she could probably get even more food volume, more nutrition, like protein, fiber, carbs, healthy fats, some vitamins and nutrients. If she meal prepped healthy, balanced meals, that's what I've been doing, and I've found great success doing it. And, meal prepping doesn't even have to be complicated. This week I did a casserole. Literally, all it involved was make the sauce, brown the ground turkey, and mix it and cook the rice, because it had rice in it. Combine it all in a pan, sprinkle some cheese on top, and bake it. It was really simple, made lunch and dinner for the week. And you know what? It had 21 grams of protein. It had a fair bit of fat because cheese, but cheese isn't evil. And then it had broccoli, and it was good. It was delicious. It was like a hug on a plate. I had 8 portions served out. And because I had a decent sized bowl, it was like a cup and a half of casserole per serving. And it was only like 400 calories per serving. So I could have other food on top of that. So it was one of those things where it was like I had more food volume for less calories, so I could eat more and still be within my calorie budget for the day. So I highly recommend meal prepping and eating just better foods, because she'll be more satisfied, it'll take less willpower, and she'll be less likely to fall back into old habits and gain the weight back. So if you're trying to lose weight, try to eat whole, healthy foods. Odds are, if it's individually packaged, it's probably not healthy. That's just a general rule of thumb. There are some exceptions, but yeah, if it's individually packaged or comes pre-packaged and ready to eat, it's probably not the best and should be, for the most part, avoided. I shouldn't say altogether, but just reduce as much as you can out of your diet. So let's see what our Fitness Pal says. I used to use my Fitness Pal. I seemed to switch apps.
Because in the past, I would have just eaten literally everything. So at least now I'm more aware of how many calories I'm consuming. Somehow I ate exactly 2,000 calories on the dot, which is awesome. As always, if you made it to the end, you're a real one. Let me know your...
Alright, 2,000 calories. Like I said, 2,000 calories, she should be able to lose the weight. If she sticks to it, based on what I saw, it might be hard for her to stick to it because that was very low food volume. Like the 16 slices of pepperoni is 140 calories. That's just like a stack this big. That's not going to fill you up. So I highly recommend, if you're going to try to lose weight, find reasonably volumed food. Unless you're a competitive eater, don't eat huge volumes of food because you can stretch your stomach out and be even hungrier. But find decent volume foods for low calories. I can make a huge bowl of oatmeal with berries and protein powder for 360 calories. It's a good amount of food, fills me up, has carbs, protein, and all the like, and it's satisfying. I'll be good for hours on that. So you need to find a middleman. Higher volume foods that are lower in calories. They exist. You just might have to get cooking in the kitchen, which I think everyone should do anyway. If you're watching this and you are a fully functional adult and don't know how to cook, start watching YouTube videos and learn how to cook. Seriously, it should be Adulting 101. We should teach everyone how to cook. Basic stuff. Because you'll be better for it. Ingredients are cheaper than pre-made foods too, so that's fun. Let's watch another one. That one took 14 minutes of me ranting. So, this person here is what I eat in a day as a fat girl, and she's holding up 2 donuts. And I'm carb loading, so, let's get that little eye candy in there.
What I eat in a day as a fat girl.
Okay, that donut looks super indulgent, and it looks like a specialty donut. And I've never seen somebody dip a donut into milk before, but yeah, no. Unless it's a special occasion, I would avoid sugary donuts like this first thing in the morning. It's gonna cause a blood sugar spike and then a crash, and they're not satisfying, so you can fit them into your calorie budget for a day easily. But it's gonna mess with your blood sugar. They're not satisfying. A lot of these pastry, sugary things like donuts, muffins, and the like. Especially if you get it from a fast food restaurant, odds are it has been designed to be as unsatiating and unsatisfying as possible. So you'll be hungry sooner and faster than if you ate a Whole Foods. The milk is okay. I'm completely fine with drinking milk. It has fat, it has calcium, and healthy fat, and it has some electrolytes and protein in it. So if you want to drink a glass of milk, that's fine. Just measure out how much you use, because it is fairly calorie dense for a beverage. But yeah, milk's not bad. I had a glass of milk earlier in the week because I used half a quart to make the casserole I mentioned before, and I still had milk left over, and I'm like, I'm not letting this go to waste, I'm just gonna drink a glass of milk. And I went for a long run and needed the calories, so it was like perfectly lined up, But yeah, s'mores donut, that just sounds so decadent. Like, I can see that as a dessert, or like something if you are about to like do some like, I don't know, that just seems like a bit much. Like, I like sweet things, like I get the Boston cream donut, but that just seems like a lot.
Oh my god.
This has to be a specialty place. Making a bite. I'm gonna have to press X to doubt that one. I'm sorry. She probably ate them both. The whole thing. I know I would. Donuts, like I said, are unsatisfying. I could eat a half dozen and still want more donuts. It's the game is designed that way. Iced milk. Can somebody explain to me the appeal of putting ice in milk? Most of the time it's served cold. It's served cold. You don't need ice in it. It's just gonna water down the milk. I've never understood that. Why do people ice their milk? Please, somebody in the comments, explain to me the appeal of iced milk. I've nothing against drinking milk. I have been known to drink a glass of milk here and there, but jeez. Iced milk, I just don't get it. It's weird. Maybe it's like a different cultural thing in the US. I'm in the US, but I could drive 3 states over and the culture's different, so I just don't get it. Somebody explain to me. But it's not my life, so I can't judge, but I'm gonna judge. Like, who puts ice in their milk? Why? Alright, let's see this. This looks like a salad. Chickpeas. Is she eating salad with a spoon? If the kale... you could eat that with a spoon, I guess. Let's go in the middleman and say that's a spork meal. And this is actually, depending on how heavy she went with the dressing, like, dressing is like the salad ruiner, but there's the kale, a good leafy green, add some lemon juice to really help unlock the potential. Chickpeas, they're good protein, they have got carbs in them too, healthy carbs. Chicken, in my opinion, chicken's like one of the ultimate protein life hacks. It's like a cheat code. Add chicken or eggs to anything and it's instantly higher protein. Tomatoes, can't argue with those. They have vitamin C. I'm always one for a good tomato. Blueberries, I'm not much of a fruit, tomatoes are fruit, but like sweet fruit and salad kind of person. So almonds, be careful with nuts. They're really calorie dense, and just a handful of nuts is like 200 calories. I'm not saying don't eat them, but just be cautious and measure them out, because if you don't, you can eat way more than you think you did, and they are really calorie dense. But they are full of omega-3s and other fats that are really good for you. So get them in your diet, but keep them in moderation. Measure them out. They have a little exception to the if it comes pre-packaged ready to eat rule. A lot of brands will do little nut snack packs, and it'll have a pre-portioned amount of mixed nuts or cashews, almonds, whatever. I've seen all sorts of ones, and each pack is like 100, 140 calories, and you just eat that. It's pre-portioned. Makes your life easy. You get the all the health benefits of eating mixed nuts. Well, also, takes the brain power out of measuring out how many mixed nuts you eat. But yeah, not the worst lunch. Definitely be careful about how much dressing you put on salad, because vinaigrette's not a bad dressing. It's like 80 calories per 2 tablespoons or something like that. It's not the worst, but if you put a ton of dressing on a salad, it takes a 180 calorie salad to a 600 calorie salad. So always be careful with your dressings. Now, I'm not saying don't do dressings. I love me a good dressing, but just be mindful and measure out how much you use. Okay, so protein bars, glorified candy bars. If you're gonna eat one, if you want a candy bar, but you don't want to waste the calories, I guess protein bars are a great alternative. But if you don't like the taste of protein bars, just eat the candy bar. Not the worst. And I appreciate that she's including the drinks she's drinking. A lot of these videos don't include that. A protein shake, gotta get your protein in. Protein shakes, the only time I'd recommend drinking protein shakes, I drink protein shakes, is if you're trying to put on or maintain muscle and you need that extra protein without the excess calories from other macros. So protein shakes are good, just if you're trying to lose weight and you're not trying to put on muscle, they're unnecessary. If you're trying to put on muscle and you're bulking, go ahead, drink protein shake, they're fine. I drink the premixed ones that look like she used protein powder, which, I don't know, is it better? No, that's just an option. And I've noticed, alright, so we'll unpack the McDonald's here real quick. But why do they always have to mention how much water they drink? Most people don't have to go and flex how much water they drink. You don't hear me bragging about how much water I drink. It's just a given. If you are living a healthy lifestyle, you're mindful about everything, you don't have to go telling everybody how much water you drink. It's not a flex. But I've only ever seen people go, yeah, I drank so much water today, if they are on the larger side. It's just a trend I've noticed. I think part of it's like, oh, I'm healthy, I drink water, but she mentioned that right after she ate a large fry and a McDouble. And honestly, if you're gonna get McDonald's, just get the bun. Because most of the bad calories from McDonald's comes from the deep fryer grease and the fat from the meat, and removing the bun maybe removes 80 calories from the meal. When you eat a large fry and a McDouble, just get the bun. It's already McDonald's, it's already unhealthy, it's already unsatisfying. And it's just, she ate, the only healthy thing was lunch, really? And that was The chickpeas are fairly calorie dense, almonds are calorie dense, she probably smothered it in dressing. So she had a protein very heavy on processed fats and carbs. Which, unless you're I would avoid fats from processed foods. If you get it from meat, nuts, fruits, vegetables, that kind of stuff, you're fine. But if you're getting it from like fast food, donuts, all sorts of places, it's not the best. So she mostly ate ultra processed food for her entire day. And that kind of diet is not good. Humans were not designed to eat chemical soup disguised as food. We were meant to eat food. So, as a general rule of thumb, if the first 5 ingredients, if you don't know what they are, it's not food, it's a food product. So, that's just something I do. I'm not perfect. I eat protein bars. I drink protein shakes. I eat running nutrition, like the gels, chews, that stuff. So, those are all ultra-processed foods. I eat them. But I eat them not all the time, and I eat them with a purpose. So it's not like all the time everything. And now that it's pumpkin spice season at Dunkin', I've been getting pumpkin spice coffees, which is fine. Just make sure it fits within your calorie budget and you're not using it as an excuse to go off the rails, because ultra-processed, pre-made junk food is a slippery slope that can lead you down some really dangerous habits. So we'll do one more, and all that stuff. A realistic what I eat in a day and a calorie deficit. Alright. Oh, someone's reacting to it, so we'll skip that one. Pumpkin Spice Girlies Unite. You know, I like pumpkin. I really like pumpkin. So let's see.
What I ate today as a fatty.
Good morning, Basic Baddies. Of course I had to get a pumpkin spice latte.
Starbucks. Starbucks, they put more cream and sugar per volume of coffee than any other place, and it's $8 for a coffee. I prefer drinking my pumpkin spice from Dunkin' Donuts. I've tried Starbucks coffee. It is okay. It's just burnt, and you have to add so much cream and sugar to taste not burnt. You could use that coffee right there. You could use that pumpkin spice coffee to cream another pumpkin spice coffee, and it would still be too much cream and sugar. So, yeah. If this is an occasional thing, go right ahead. But if this is a daily thing, that's like 400 to 500 calories of coffee right there. Think about that. My average meal is 400 to 500 calories. Sometimes closer to 600 depending on the meal, but that one coffee is worth a whole meal of eating.
Yeah. And my shawls aren't burned. Delicious! I also had to get a pumpkin cream cheese muffin. It wouldn't be complete without it. I made pizza skulls.
Okay, so the pumpkin cream cheese muffin looks like a delicious dessert. But that breakfast was probably close to 1,000 calories. Muffins are labeled as a healthy breakfast. They're cake. So I'm going to use Dunkin' as an example. Their average muffin is 450 calories. A large coffee from Dunkin' with the cream and sugar, or cream and flavor shot, 350 calories. So you get those two combined, it's like 700, 800 calories, possibly 900, depending on which muffin you get. So think, if you get that for breakfast, that's half your daily and we'll just say 2,000 calories. I know my actual BMR is closer to 1,800 because I'm 5 feet tall. Could be more if you're taller, but half your calories on a sugary breakfast. That isn't going to fill you up. You're going to be starving. You're going to be unsatisfied. Not worth it. Carb loading, that's on the menu for me. As a special occasion treat, like on race day, I'm probably going to have a muffin, probably going to have a coffee and a donut, because I'm going to need lots of carbs that day. Or like as a rare occasion, that is fine. But if this is her regular thing, like multiple days a week, no wonder why she weighs the way she weighs, you know? And those schools look like an excellent part, and we're going to get into those. Those skulls look like an excellent party food for like a Halloween party, but, you know, it's pizza.
This one I did is Canadian bacon and pineapple. So good.
And again with the eating, somebody commented in the last video that it's an fetish thing, but I don't know. I think it's rage bait. So 3 of those. That is probably like another 800 plus calories worth of food. So 2 meals and she's already hit 2,000 calories. And I'm not gonna argue with the pizza skulls. Those would be an excellent party snack for a Halloween themed party. And I am going to be controversial here. I think pineapple does belong on pizza. I love a Hawaiian pizza, so I can't even falter for putting pineapple in there. I like it. But this, plus the sugary breakfast, is probably not the best way to eat. I'd recommend, you can get the coffee, and then get, like, they have egg white bites. You can make healthier choices at these restaurants. Just, this ain't it.
This is better than the pepperoni one I made. I got my water, and I'm eating a mix.
Again with the water. How many times have you heard about me bragging about my water? I don't brag about it. I just noticed it's always these proud fatties that have to brag about how much water they drink. And yes, drink your water. Humans need water. And let me tell you, if you don't like the taste of water, put some lemon in it. Infuse a little bit of fruit. They have fruit infusers. Crush some strawberries and mix it in. And all that fun stuff. So yeah. Drink your water. It is very important. Your body needs it to function.
No, but I'm not really good at cutting them. Sometimes they smell like diapers.
I'm not good at cutting mango either.
Okay, so for dinner we're having a salad. It's supposed to be
That is a very sad looking salad. I will be honest.
a taco salad from Wendy's, but they said not today, fatty. They forgot my chilies, so lettuce. So I got a baked potato. It's supposed to have sour cream with it, but they didn't put that in there either. I have these chicken nuggets with no sweet and sour.
What I've noticed is this day of eating so far, there's been like no good sources of protein and like no good sources of fiber. Yes, she technically has a salad, which salads are really good, but most of the time they use iceberg lettuce, which has like no nutritional value, and they are very light on the other vegetables. So salads can be very good if you put the right stuff on them. But that salad was very sad, and it was probably just 180 calories of kind of bland. Not a salad I would make or eat, but, I mean, it's better than nothing. But she has no, like, whole protein sources. The closest thing I've seen is the bacon and the skulls and the chicken nuggets. That's not enough protein. If you want to get enough protein in your diet, you actually have to go out of your way. Like, usually you need around 100 grams of protein. That's a lot of meat and protein sources you need to eat from. This woman has had very little protein in her diet. So yeah, a lot of fat, a lot of carbs, not a lot of protein. So she's probably, like, her hunger signals are probably all over the place because she's not getting the proper percentages of nutrients, I guess you could say. Or macros, that's what it's called.
Sauce. Lettuce. My friend made me muffins, lemon huckleberry, and then she made me chocolate chip zucchini. I need to try one of these right now. Purr, girl, purr. I'm a little disappointed with Wendy's, not gonna lie. I'm going to sleep for dinner.
So, yeah, I'm gonna have to give this day, like, an F. I'm sorry. If you're carb loading, this day is perfect. Well, almost perfect. I would prefer you carb load on fruits, veggies, and stuff. Like, the potato was good. Sour cream is fine. But it was mostly just carbs. There's very little protein. There's very little fiber. And those things keep you feeling full and satisfied. And she ate mostly carbs, and carbs aren't necessarily a bad thing. You do need carbs. I need a ton of carbs because I'm a runner, but she probably doesn't get a ton of activity, so the amount of carbs she needs is going to be significantly less. And the balance of her micronutrients, she ate a ton of processed fats and a ton of carbs and barely any protein. So, like, this is probably, I'm going to say, what a lot of people eat in a day. And even just say you eat healthy all day and you get one of those Starbucks coffees. Those Starbucks coffees can be like 600 calories depending on how much stuff you put in them. So you could be eating 2,000 calories of food a day, drinking that Starbucks coffee on top of it, and you're wondering why you can't lose weight. It's because you have that calorie surplus from your beverages. Liquid calories are so sneaky. They are great if you need calories in a pinch, but if you aren't counting them, they can make or break your like weight loss. So yeah, you should not be eating like this woman did. It is not healthy. It's not sustainable. You're gonna feel like garbage eating like this. Try to eat meat, vegetables. Grains and carbs aren't bad. Like oatmeal is good. If you get like the non-sugar added stuff and measure out your ingredients, that's good. Rice isn't evil. Rice is good. I like rice. So there are like good carbs you can have, and you need certain balances based on your lifestyle. But this diet is so out of whack and so processed food heavy that she probably feels like garbage and doesn't even realize it. If you live like that all the time, you're not gonna realize it. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Some interesting eating. One thing I've noticed is a lot of these people don't get enough protein, or they eat too much processed food and eat way too much refined sugar. So if you're trying to lose weight, start by just analyzing what you eat and being honest about it. And that can be painful. Being honest about what you're doing is painful. Trust me. But I think it's worth it. I personally do. Be honest and just track everything. And you don't even have to start in a calorie deficit. If you want to start losing weight and you're in one of these women's positions, be honest. Literally, measure out just do a normal day of eating with my Fitness Pal, or I use my Net Diary. There's Chronometer. There's all sorts of fitness tracking apps for free. And just be honest. Measure out what you eat, track it down, and go, oh. And you will see how many calories you're eating. And a lot of these fitness apps also break down your macronutrients. I know Chronometer also breaks down your, micronutrients as well. I don't use Chronometer because my dietitian can't access it. And I'm not a huge fan of the interface, but if you're looking, I use it every so often just to see my micronutrients. So, I'll link my Net Diary and Chronometer down below for you guys, just if you want to try them out. But yeah, if you want to lose weight and you can't figure out why, be honest. Everything that goes into your food, measure out. You use a sauce, a dressing, count it. You drink a beverage, count it. And then look at it and really analyze, was I honest and were there hidden calories? You'd be surprised how much hidden calories we encounter on a day-to-day basis. Just like the dipping sauce you use for your chicken nuggets can add an extra couple hundred. Adding cream and sugar to your coffee and not properly measuring it out can add another couple hundred. And that's all it takes to really cause you to be overweight. And I know it's hard to, I'd say about 20 to 50 pounds can be gained through just complacency. Any more than that, you may have to analyze really what is going on. You know what I mean? But with all that being said, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And, I hope you enjoyed it and we learned a little bit. But, you know, get your protein in and try to eat whole foods, avoid processed foods. And if you like this content, there's plenty more where this came from. So consider subscribing. I will also link a playlist of my other reaction videos if you like my reaction style. Still getting my bearings here, so you know. And if you agree or disagree with anything I have said in this video, leave it in the comments below. Let's start some discourse. Let's talk. And I guess that's all I have to say for this. I could keep rambling. I'm really good at that. So I'm just going to leave it here, and hopefully I can catch you guys in the next one.